North Korea is cranking up the threats against the United States again and aiming some strong words at our close ally, South Korea. North Korean officials are warning that, quote, strong physical countermeasures will face South Korea if it takes part in tougher UN sanctions announced this week. CNN's Matthew Chance has more from Seoul, South Korea.
A lot of concern here in South Korea about what that closed pariah state to the north is going to do next. North Korea has already said that it will carry out a third nuclear test, a swipe at the United States. Now Pyongyang is making aggressive statements towards South Korea as well.
남조선 괴리역적 배당이
It's the latest alarming threat from North Korea, this time aimed at its southern neighbour. On the country's evening newscast, the presenter talks of the puppet group of traitors, Pyongyang's term for the government of South Korea. We will take strong physical countermeasures against them, she reads, if they take a direct part in any UN sanctions. It's unclear what her state has in mind, but this increasingly blunt rhetoric is part of the fallout of a December rocket launch by Pyongyang, an international reaction to it. It was condemned by the UN Security Council, which imposed more crippling sanctions earlier this week. And the latest threat comes just a day after this nuclear one, broadcast in defiant tone the night before. Satellites and long-range rockets will be launched one after another, officials in Pyongyang announced, as well as a nuclear test to target the United States in what they called a new phase of their anti-US struggle.
North Korea has already conducted 2 nuclear tests in 2006 and 2009. US officials say a third would only deepen the country's isolation. But analysts say that doesn't seem to be of paramount concern to its untested young leader, Kim Jong-un. There are signs that even China, Pyongyang's economic lifeline, is increasingly frustrated.
In an unusual step, China voted for the resolution condemning North Korea last week at the Security Council, where it could have used its veto. And in a rare public rebuke, a state-run communist newspaper in Beijing carried this warning. If North Korea engages in further nuclear tests, China will not hesitate to reduce its assistance to North Korea. It may prove an empty threat, but Pyongyang, so dependent on China, is unlikely to have overlooked Beijing's obvious annoyance.
Well, despite that, though, speculation is now rising that North Korea may even now be preparing for that nuclear test, with satellite images, according to some analysts, suggesting that an underground test site is being prepared near the Chinese border. The region now very much bracing for what might happen next.